What is up, Jerome's? We are back, and mock draft today keeps the doctor away, or something like that. But we're back at it on FanSpeak. We got Vikings 7 round mock draft, so let's hit it. Starting the round, fire up. So we're using the CBS composite board. Now I like the composite board just because 2 minds, 3 minds, 7 minds are better than one. All right, so let's stop this. All right, so top 10 so far. Joe Burrow 1 to the Bengals, Chase Young, Washington, Derek Brown, Lions, Tristan Wirfs to the Giants, as well as Tua to the Dolphins. Now, it's pretty much, according to Hoyle, how it may or what is projected to turn out. Of course, we never know what's going to happen on draft night. Lots of trades could happen in the top 5, especially if there's some hankering for some quarterbacks. Herbert to the Chargers, Thomas to the Panthers, Henry Ruggs III to the Cardinals. Ooh, kind of like that one. Jerry Jeudy to the Jaguars, as well as Isaiah Simmons to the Browns. I like that pick over to the Browns. And then CeeDee Lamb to the Jets. Robbie Anderson, if they can keep him, and CeeDee Lamb. Damn, baby got Stu going. And then T. Higgins goes to the Raiders at 12. So interesting what's going on right now. Jeff Okudah is still on the friggin' board. So Okudah, Kinlaw, Wills is still there. Now, if I'm Rick Spielman, at this point, the fact that Okudah is still there chilling, I'm getting a little antsy here. So let's just, for schnitz and giggles, see what it'll cost. So Colts are up at 13. Colts and Chris Ballard are always open to do business, even though they may be in on a QB of the future. So actually, who's after that? All right, so the Bucks, 14K. God, would they really go cornerback? I don't want to risk it. All right, so let's get the Colts on the horn. Herbert on the board. Maybe they're just simply not into Jordan Love because you see they have Washington's second-round pick from last year. It's part of the Montez Sweat trade. All right, so let's see how much it would cost to move up. Maybe they'll just take it straight up. Oh, not so much. All right. We'll give you 1, 3, 4, and then kick us back a fifth rounder. No. All right, so we'll give you. What if we just give you a future second? All right, so 26 and a future second for 13. I didn't think they'd go for that. I can't go for that. All right, so would you go for three second rounders? Okay, sure. All right, back on the clock. We're going to take Okudah. So, mini mortgaging of the future. I get it, giving up 2 future second-round picks as well as this year's second, but keeps the Vikings in the first round at 25 overall and rooting for one of the tackles to drop to the Vikes. All right, so now 2 trade offers. Not really interested, so no. All right, so now, look, so you got Okudah. You got your cornerback of the future. Pretty awesome there. McKinney Becton is still there because that means Wills went to the Dolphins at 18. Keeping Tua and Wills together. That's kind of cool. Just take a quick gloss over the board. Jordan Love is still there. Eason is still there. Bryce Hall is still there, although we already checked quarterback off the box. So at 25, the Vikings do have their choice of what sort of become the top 3 safeties. I mean, I don't put Davis in there, but McKinney, Delpit, and Winfield Jr. So the Vikings at 25, if they would have stood pat, would have their choice there. I mean, it's kind of tempting if you just want to double down on secondary there. But the fact that the Vikings are #blessed that one of the top 5 tackles fell to them. I mean, you can't really look a gift horse in the mouth. So taking Becton, I do think that he projects to be a left tackle at the NFL level. I think you could slot him in right away, or you could play him at guard for a year if you want to keep Riley Reef out there. And so first round, you're coming away. Yes, you gave up 2 future second-round picks, and you're sitting out the second round this year. But you're coming away with the best cornerback in the draft and the tackle with the biggest athletic upside. I mean, you are certainly okay with that. You are certainly okay. And then also, Rick gets his 10 picks. Vikings still have 8 more picks to go. And then we're just sitting here chilling. Upcoming needs. Would love to double down on some offensive line. Man, they got Jonah Jackson ranked very low on here. Damian Lewis, I love, except he's not really a scheme fit. He's much more of a. He's basically like David Dixon, if you guys remember David Dixon from back in the day. All right, keep the party going. All right, so offer for a trade. Sliding back a couple picks in the third. Drop back to the fourth. So Vikings have. Don't want to trade up. Not really about that life. I'm okay at this point. Yeah, I would have considered the Lions one. Maybe we'll revisit that. Yeah, especially if there's no one on the board that I'm really hankering for. But the Vikings do have 2 fourth rounders at this point. It would be nice to get back in the 5th round as well. Thad Moss still there chilling. Oh, Logan Sturberg, Kentucky still on board. All right, here we go. All right, so Thaddeus Moss, not really needed tight end. I mean, if Rudy was out of contract, sure. Logan Sternberg, we like Kentucky. He is still there. Let's see here. Look for wide receivers. DPJ from Michigan. He was part of our BPA overall from the other day. Pittman Jr., Claypool, we're betting on physical upside. Okay. Let's see what else here. Safeties wise, yeah. Do like Carter. Grab him a little bit later on. Edge wise, I mean Jennings, sure. Taylor. I mean Nick Coe for show. I mean, there's not really anyone that I'm just pounding the table for at this point. So let's get the Lions back on the horn. And maybe they will. Maybe they're still in business mode here. So how about that? All right. So there you go. So the Vikings are back off the board. I get through the 3rd round. I have 3 fourth rounders at the top. We're also at the top of the 4th, and plus we're back in the 5th rounder right at the top there. So there we go. Oh, more trade offers. No. Wow. How many compensatory picks are in the 4th round? Damn, Gina. Start round. There we go. All right, so back on board. Pittman, Claypool are still there. Jonah Jackson is still there chilling. Man. Would be nice to come away with all of them. Of course, we do have the Rashard Lawrence is there too. We do have ammo now that we can move up. So let's see what we can do. All right, who is up next after us? So Giants at 4. New York Giants. There we go. All right, so we want 4. No, we're not including that. How about just 4 and 6, just for schnitz? I propose 4, 6, and a top 7th. All right, accept that one. Also, I still want. I'd say who's after the Giants, Texans, because I want all 3 of them. Don't really care. All right, so there. We'll give you 4 and a top line 5. There you go. Decline all trades. So now we got 3 straight picks, which is just lovely. So I'm going to take Claypool, just a physical beast. What? No more trades. Physical beast wide receiver from Notre Dame. I'm going to take Jonah Jackson, guard from Ohio State, and as well as, so I have my pick. I could take Lawrence, the D-line from LSU for sure. Edge guys, I mean, will Coe be there? We're back on the clock again. Oh, 7th? Doesn't really matter, I guess. So, meh. Yeah, I'm going to take Lawrence. All right, so the Vikings have shifted around, gave up 2 future second-round picks, but you get the best cornerback in the draft. You get a great athletic upside tackle, and then as you're shifting around, you end up with possibly the biggest physical freak wide receiver. You get a great guard in Jonah Jackson, massive value at the top of 4th round, in my opinion. He come in like he could be an eventual starter. because the offensive line, depending on what happens in free agency, even though the Vikings probably won't be big players in free agency. So you could have Becton at left tackle, you could have Reef at left guard, or vice versa, Reef at left tackle, Becton inside for a year. And then you got Bradbury, Klein, and then Brian O'Neill on the outside. They got Jonah Jackson, Drew Samia, and Oli Udo competing for backup spots as well as eventual starter positions. It's not bad. That really isn't bad at all. All right, so getting through the 5th round, and we'll make our 7th round picks, and then we're outie. Really liking this draft so far. All right, so we did all that, gave up 2 future seconds, maneuvered around, traded out of the 3rd, and then just used those extra mid-round picks to maneuver at the top of the 4th just to get 3 straight guys that we really liked. Yeah, because I think Lawrence can come in right away. Lawrence could potentially start, man, depending on what happens with the Vikings' interior defensive line. What happens with Linval, as well as what happens in free agency. I don't really see them going nuts, but also just like the Lawrence pick. Dun, dun, as we wait for the 7th freaking round, let's see who's going. Shackelford is decent. Highsmith going down this low. Interesting. Josh Metellus, a little bit of a sleeper of a safety I like. Yeah, we haven't really addressed safety, so we should probably grab one here in the 7th. I like Brooks Jr., although he's a... You guys remember Trey Matthews from Auburn? Yeah, that's basically it. Just jerked. Yeah, we're way back in the 7th, so we'll just be chilling here. Gibson is intriguing. Haven't really grabbed a quarterback. Not really one I'd be interested in. I mean, Montez, if he makes it, sure. Mason Fine, I've certainly warmed up to. All right, so now we're on the clock. All right, so what we do? Take Carter Coughlin. Sure, why not? Linebacker depth, special teams guy. Heart and hustle. Bam. Then we're going to take a safety and a quarterback. So I missed out on the Maryland dude. All right, so we're going to take Mason Fine. And then what should we take? Just double dip on corner. Now, take one of the Davis brothers from Nebraska. There we go. All right, there we go. That is it. So Vikings do a quasi-mortgage of the future, giving up 2 future second-round picks, able to move up for Jeff Okudah, also packaging this year's second-round pick to move up. Standing at 25, Mekhi Becton fell all the way down there, where I don't really expect it, given all the hype, but also remember the hype that everyone was given to Jawan Taylor last year, and then he fell out of the first round. I mean, could have been some underlying medical issues, but I do think that the draft Twitter hype sometimes can be unwarranted, but I think Becton is legit. I don't expect him to fall all the way to 25, but I don't think he's going to go top 5 either, as some places are projecting. And then the Vikings ended up trading with the Lions out of the 3rd. I ended up with a bunch of 4th-round picks, and then used some mid-round picks existing this year to move up and just really hammer guys that you want at the top of day 3. So Chase Claypool, the physical freak from Notre Dame, Jonah Jackson, who could come in, and he may even eventually start, depending on what happens with Reef, coming in and competing from Ohio State. Rashard Lawrence, I think, could very firmly be in the defensive interior mix right away for the Vikes. And then in the 7th round, Carter Coughlin, heart and hustle, as they always like to do in the 7th round, taking a linebacker. And then quarterback Mason Fine from North Texas, and then Khalil Davis, another combine freak coming out of Nebraska. Even though, yes, I think he's going to go higher than 7th round, but it is what it is. And, of course, Rick knows all about the Nebraska kids. But that's it. That is our mock draft for the day. Love you guys. Skull. Production value.